Hi Gemini, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your July 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Girl spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes, so we'll do that now. Okay, so we have 11. So that's 11 vowels represents friendships, groups, hopes and wishes. And for you guys, that's Aries energy. We have the North Node, which is actually in your sign. And we have Leo, which is actually your third house of communication. And, we have Mars there in July. Venus will be there for a bit too. And, of course, the Sun toward the end of July. All right, so we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. Main situation position, we have the Three of Cups, which is Cancer energy, and Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy. So interesting to see the polarity there because, of course, we'll be in Cancer season and we'll have the full moon in Capricorn that's coming up soon, and then a new moon in July. So could just be pointing to timelines as far as that goes, but looks like there's definitely a celebratory atmosphere coming for you guys this month, possibly around some financial successes that you might have been experiencing. For some of you, it could even not necessarily be around work that you've directly done, but it could be around investments, given that for you guys, Capricorn is your 8th house. So, could just be celebrating some investments that might have gone well for you. But for others of you, this could just be career success as well. And I feel like, if this is the case, it looks like some of you probably worked on for quite some time to get there. And of course, on a more mundane level, it could just be as simple as reconnecting with friends, having a good time. So pretty positive either way. All right, in the Challenger obstacle position, we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, and the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. So seeing these two cards come up together could just be saying that whatever this is that you have reached, it might have taken you a really long time because you might have had to actually work within the confines of a lot of rules, right? So there might have been a lot of red tape that you guys had to work around to actually get to this level. So it could just be saying that, you really might have had to work hard to get to where you are. And that's probably why there's the celebratory atmosphere around it. You might have felt like there were definitely some restrictions in your way. And for others of you, it could just be saying that, with this, maybe you've worked for a long time, you've reached a level of success, but now at the new level you're at, you're dealing with a whole new set of rules. So there might be some need to adjust to that too. So that's another way I can see that playing out. In the foundation position, we have the Six of Swords, which is Aquarius energy. So for you guys, this is actually your 9th house, and it could just be saying that, you might have changed your viewpoints around some things. Possibly you're looking at things in a more positive mindset as well. But usually this represents moving away from conflict into calmer waters. So it could just be a change in environment altogether too. So for some of you, it might even be a change in careers because you might have been pouring a lot of work into another environment that wasn't really celebrating you the way that you'd hoped, and now you might be getting into a more supportive atmosphere for that now. In the past position, we have the Three of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy here, which for you guys is your 5th house, romance, creativity, children. And this could just be saying that, maybe you guys might have gone through a heartbreak as far as romance goes, and that could have been part of what driven you toward focusing on your work a lot more. For others of you, this could just be some disappointments you've gone through in general with creative projects, because that Eight of Pentacles with the Hierophant energy could also represent that as well. Because when I see the Eight of Pentacles, I often think of a person that's kind of like an entrepreneurial type vibe, because he's quite literally making his own money. So could just be saying that you might have experienced some setbacks there, and that could be part of why there's that celebration too. It might have taken you a really long time to find just the right formula that worked for you. But yeah, it looks like you definitely might have been reflecting on the disappointment in the past. All right, in the present position, we have the King of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, which we did see come up in your dice as well. Which again, like I said, for you guys is communication. So this could just be saying that now you're feeling a lot more comfortable and confident with your communication now that the retrograde cycle is going to be wrapping up. And as we get into July, around the end of the first week, Mercury would be out of its shadow too. So then you're really being declared in. So it could just be saying that that's where you're feeling okay. Maybe you had some hiccups with communication during the retrograde, of course, and the eclipse is going on, but you might just be feeling a lot more firm and confident in yourselves as far as that goes. And this could just represent, again, more indications of some kind of success, possibly on the career level. All right. In the near future position, we have the King of Pentacles. So a lot of Pentacle energy at play here. This is Taurus energy. We did see the Queen of Pentacles there as well. So this could be someone else in your environment as well. So maybe you've kind of, especially given that we do see the 11 come up, which represents groups. Maybe this is just a whole new group that you might be dealing with. And you could just feel like they're like more of a set of like minds than where you were previously, so with the previous environment, with the Eight of Pentacles and that Hierophant, you might have felt like there was a difference in outlook on how you guys perceive things. And now with this Three of Cups, could just be saying that, for example, you could be one person, this could be another, and this could be the third, right? Could just be a meeting of minds with a different group that you might be dealing with now. See if anything else comes to mind with this. And for some of you, could just be saying, like I was saying, maybe it took you a while to find that right formula that worked for you. With this King of Wands, it could be, okay, I'm sure of myself, I know this is the formula that works. And now you're actually starting to see the tangible results of that action that you've taken. But I do have to say a lot of fixed energy here too. We see Aquarius energy, Taurus energy, Leo energy. So on the more positive end, that could be saying that you're really set now, you're firmly planted in what you're doing. In the more negative sense, it could just be pointing to a bit of stubborn energy, but I'm not necessarily seeing it that way. Just wanted to at least mention the possibility, though. The position of your influence on the situation, we have the High Priestess. So this is a very intuitive energy. Could just be saying that, maybe you might have had some ideas around the time when we had the Taurus new moon during Taurus season. Could even just be energies being activated with there's going to be that Mars square Uranus aspect at the very end of June leading into July, with Saturn in the mix too in your ninth house. So you could just be getting a lot of insights there as far as, maybe you're seeing things from a slightly different way, but not necessarily being outright communicating that this is the insights that you're getting, but you're just kind of integrating it all and figuring out, okay, how could I actually turn this into something tangible? So that could be just where you guys are at right now. And it could just be a result of the retrograde as well. Could have had you reflecting a bit more on, okay, where do I want to move next? How do I want to go about it? But either way, it looks like you're definitely comfortable with your intuition at this time. All right. In the environment position, we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Two of Cups. So yeah, this could definitely be for some of you just a new group that you're dealing with, where, like I said, maybe where you've been recently, you might have felt like things were just out of your reach with that Page energy, but now we're already seeing the Queen and the King. So it could just be saying that you might have had a meeting of the minds where, you just hit it off with someone and you're actually making that forward progress. Now, of course, this could obviously point to romance as well, which we tend to think about initially when we see the Two of Cups. But yeah, for a lot of you, this could also be around business, given that we see all the Pentacle energy going on with this spread. So it could just be a business partnership where, you might have had a hard time with someone who, you're able to bounce your ideas off of and actually get that feedback that resonated with you. But this could just be saying that you might actually come across someone like that this month. And let's see if this does just strictly represent another person. This could be maybe they're coming out of a similar dynamic where, they always felt like that stability, that safety they were looking for was always just out of their reach, but they might feel like they've met someone that they could actually meet minds with you. So pretty positive either way. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Page of Wands. This is an interesting one here because I could see it. Naturally, I would think of this as a hope initially, but given that you're in that High Priestess energy, for some of you, there might be a fear where it could be like, okay, you're really thinking a lot of things through, right, and feeling your way through situations, but there might still be the fear to take that action. But for the majority of you, I feel like this is more of a hope. Again, especially going back to seeing the Hierophant in the challenge position, where again, you might hope for the freedom to do things the way you want to do them, right? To be able to expand from your current role. So if that's the case, it looks like that will be playing out for you guys, at least to some extent. It might be kind of like a, and the Two of Cups in that regard could even be pointing to that, where yes, you might still have some level of freedom, but you still might have to operate within the confines of a certain set of rules in the same way. But it could just be that they work better with what you initially wanted to do as opposed to the previous environment. The reason I say that is just looking at all that fixed energy, like I said. So, you still might have your rules, but the rules to begin with just mesh with you a lot better than the previous rules you might have had to deal with in the past. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. In the outcome position, we have the moon, the star, which is Aquarius energy, and the Eight of Cups. All right, interesting mixture of energy here. This is Pisces energy for one, and Jupiter has actually been in those degrees. So yeah, for some of you, this can actually be a career change thing. Now with the moon showing up here, I feel like this is a situation where you might not necessarily be seeing things too clearly. This could also point to a timeline too, though, and the reason I say that is because seeing the moon here with the star card, which is Aquarius energy, we're actually going to have a full moon in Aquarius toward the end of July. And actually, there's technically going to be two full moons in July this year. There's going to be one toward the end of July and then another in August. But could just be saying that, yeah, you might get some insights around the situation and actually leave the old behind, essentially. Now, with the moon, I will say there is a slight possibility that you might not be seeing things clearly, but the interesting thing is having the star anchoring these two cards would say to me that, even if you do walk away from something that you weren't necessarily seeing the situation fully, with that star card in the middle, it looks like it would still be the right move for your path anyway. One of those things where either option you take, option A or option B, it's still going to help with your soul growth overall. So, still pretty positive there overall. And let me see. But yeah, the good thing is with that Eight of Cups, usually that does represent moving towards something more fulfilling anyway. And of course, that's the path toward the Nine of Cups, right? Which is where you have that true contentment, that self fulfillment, and then that tends to draw more things your way. So, for a lot of you, this looks like I said, I'm just getting a feeling like your philosophies might have changed around some things recently, and it's actually helping multiple areas of your life, but I'm seeing it primarily playing out in the sense of finances currently. All right, moving on to your oracle card, we have a change in the wind. There's the artwork, and the number is 12. All right, so if I remember the message for this one right, it doesn't necessarily mesh too well with the reading, but we'll see. Under essential meanings, it says a sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. So yeah, interesting. I will say, for some of you that could be where that high priestess energy is coming from, like underneath it all. For example, all right, let's just use a super generic example. Sometimes, speaking of which, we do have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is actually a perfect thing to add to the point I was going to make, which is to say, sometimes when people go through a really rough patch, right, with that Three of Swords, and then things start to go really well for them, they almost have that skepticism, like, okay, this isn't, when's the ever shoe going to drop, right? So it could be one of those things where you might be experiencing this turnaround where things seem to be flowing really well, but you might have that little bit of, that inner voice. It's like, oh, okay, something seems a little off here. So it might just be more of a fear on your part, but I did want to mention that at least before it slipped my mind. All right, so back to the messages. The Oracle's message says it's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation, as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming in on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. So, interestingly enough, as I read that there, one thing I will say is there's not a huge influence of air energy in this, right? Which is obviously your natural element, which is the swords. We see the Three of Swords in the past and the Six of Swords, but a lot of Pentacle energy, Cup energy. This is emotions here with the High Priestess too. So that could be part of it too. Even the Wands, where you're like, okay, this doesn't necessarily, you might feel a bit out of your element. And maybe it's because you are in a new environment. But hopefully that resonated. Let's see, the relationship message says relationships go through periods where partners seem out of sync with each other and stormy emotions and moods threaten to take down the ship. Perhaps someone has a change of heart and leaves. These rough seas offer opportunities for mutual growth, a way for you to understand your own heart better and to know what you need to truly be happy. Rest assured that whatever is happening now, good will come from it. Take temporary shelter and remove yourself from drama. The air will clear and everything will be fresh and new again. This too shall pass. Yeah, I mean, I'm really not seeing much conflict energy at all on the spread. Now, with the Three of Swords in the past and the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, it's certainly possible you have already come out of that. And with that Six of Swords, that could be representing that as well. So for some of you, that might be more of a situation you might have already gone through. And if that's the case, this could just be a bit of reassurance for you guys that you can get things back on track in that regard this month, given that we do see the Two of Cups there. So hopefully that resonated with you. And the prosperity message says, as you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. This is a good thing, so there is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well. Even better, actually. Trust. So a positive message there. Like I said, overall, this doesn't seem to vibe perfectly well with the spread, but hopefully you guys are getting something from that in general. Like I said, it looks like there's definitely some stability there. And if anything, there might be, on your part, a little bit of uncertainty around it. But with that star card there, I feel like you actually are going to be on the right path. So hopefully that resonated. All right. And lastly, we have a Mudra for you guys. And the Mudra you got this month is a Surabhi Mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is generosity. All right, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says balances Vata dosha, awakens Manipur chakra, treats cough and bowel disorders, improves memory, reduces inflammation, especially related to rheumatism, awakens empathy, gives insight into one's hidden gifts and talents and how these can be used to benefit all beings, increases devotion and spiritual radiance. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.